Hello YouTube, it's me, your boy B3, back with another kicking graphic novel review. I'm going to try to do this quickly today. My last couple reviews were Venom stuff, all part of the big Poisons arc. We did Venomverse, Venom and X-Men, Poison X, and now we're doing Venomized. We also did Edge of Venomverse a while ago, and we've done several other Venom stories as well. The story that began in Venomverse reaches its epic conclusion. The Poisons, a species that hungers for superpowered symbiotes, and their hosts have picked up their next target, the Marvel Universe itself. Their first objective: put every superhuman in a Clintar symbiote and then consume them. And with Venom and the X-Men still missing after the events of Poison X, Earth stands defenseless. By the time they make it back home, Venom and the X-Men find dozens of heroes and villains unwillingly bonded to symbiotes, and when the Poisons consume one of their strongest allies, the champions of Earth must rally and stand against one of their own. But what do the Poisons have planned for Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage, and can anything in the galaxy stand in the way of Poison Thanos? Poison Thanos is like the Poison's leader, and his right hand is Poison Doctor Doom. And there's also like a Poison Queen that looks like a big fancy version of one of the little Poison Husk things. So, like the Poison X-Force and all these other Poisons have these weapons that they're shooting the symbiotes out of, and the symbiotes are attaching to people so that they can consume them, and they're targeting superpowered people so that they'll absorb those superpowers into the hive. And Spider-Man gets a symbiote again and all this stuff, and Spider-Man is forced to work with Venom in this, and he and Venom are at each other's throats all the time. My boy Agent Anti-Venom is in this. He's not in a lot of stuff, so I'm glad he was in this. And his touch, it destroys symbiotes, but it looks like it's even more painful for Poisons than it is for symbiotes, and he blows up Poisons pretty much when he touches them. Kaiju Kid's in here. You guys know I love my Kaiju. Kaiju Kid's actually one of the main characters. There are anomalies to the Poisons. The first one is Carnage, because they couldn't absorb him in his symbiote in Venomverse, but they found a way to do it in here, so there is a Poison Carnage. And the other anomaly is the Kaiju Kid. They wanted him in the collective more than anybody else, because he can create Kaiju at will, and if they had that power, then they could just give each of those Kaiju a symbiote, and then have all these giant Kaiju Poisons. Which would be awesome. And they fight Poison Thanos and all this stuff, and it's really cool. D-Man and Rage actually die in this. They get turned into poisons, which kills them. But who the fuck cares? It's D-Man and Rage. Like, it's whatever. But it's pretty cool. Thor actually got turned into a poison, but when she did, she turned back into Jane Foster, and Thor's body was dissolved, but Jane Foster's wasn't, so Jane Foster, burst out of the poison. It didn't really make sense, but it's magic. I mean, the poisons are science, but Thor is magic. So they did all this cool stuff. They went up to the poison mothership, and they blew it all up, and Jean Grey was turned into a poison in the Poison X event. And because of her psychic abilities, they were so strong that her mind remained intact even when she turned into a poison. So there was the poison consciousness, and then there was her regular consciousness. And her regular consciousness did end up taking over, and she turned into a being of pure thought and destroyed the queen, and then it destroyed the entire hive. So once their queen died, their hive minds all disconnected, and all the poisons died. And then Jean Grey somehow manifested a body for herself. I get the whole being of pure thought thing. That made sense to me as far as comic books make sense. But then a body just materialized for her mind to inhabit. They didn't explain it at all. That didn't make any sense. Now, it says that some of the poisons actually survived the process. And the only two that it confirmed survived were the Carnage poison and the Wolverine poison. I think Ultimate Wolverine dies in here too. But yeah, so the Wolverine poison that was in the X-Force stays alive. And Cletus Cassidy. But it was the 616 Cletus Cassidy, so they didn't want to kill him off, You know how it works. But it's not a bad little event, you know? You do have to read Poison X and Venomverse to understand it, if you want to get the full effect, you know? But it's fun, you know, it's Venomized issue 1 through 5. I think it was a weekly series, actually, and not a monthly. By Colin Bunn, Eben Coelho, Kevin Labrada, Scott Hanna, Liz They, and Matt Iacki. Hope I pronounced all those names right. Venomized was, it was cool. It was cool and I enjoyed it. Venomverse is the best out of the 4 books for these. Edge of Venomverse, Venomverse, Poison X, and Venomized. Venomverse is the best one. But, none of them are bad. They're all fun reads. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember, rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll be seeing you all later.